Coming up on the pod this week, I talk about a private, kind of corporate show I did in Nashville this last week. I'm going to talk about that, as well as a couple of other random life updates. Got to give an OSO update. Got to keep that going. And you guys know the drill. We got to do some tour dates right now. Next week, I'm going to be in Seattle. So excited for these shows, man. I'm doing a weekend at one of my absolute favorite clubs, Laughs Comedy Club, May 31st to June 1st. And then I'm doing Brea Improv June 6th. And then June 20th, I'll be in San Antonio, Texas. Not San Antonio, Mexico, maybe. There's probably a San Antonio there, too. And then June 21st to the 22nd, Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas. Holy shit, am I stoked for those shows. That is such a sick venue. Can't wait. Choked a little bit, but I'm going to keep it rolling. Panama City, June 28th to the 29th. And then let's do the rest, man. St. Pete, Florida, Houston, Dallas, DC, Chicago, San Diego, Sunnyvale. It just keeps getting better and better throughout the year. More cities to come for the fall and the winter. Starting to coordinate some of those dates now. I'm trying to get the big cities on the books, man. I'm talking New York, Denver, Philly, Phoenix, Nashville. Like, I'm talking big cities. That's my goal for the rest of the year, as well as a bunch of others. So, I'm just getting started. I'm cooking, and we're cooking now, dude. I want to drop the song and start the podcast right now. What's good? Spirits are high. I'm not high. I'm sober, but maybe you're a little bit high right now. And if you are, what up? I hope you're doing well. We're back on the pod, dude, and I'm just feeling good. I'm just in a really good mood. Maybe because the clip I posted today is already resonating, which I'm stoked about because I was very proud of it. And sometimes the ones I'm the most proud of never do as well. So I'm very happy. It's very fulfilling when the stars align and shit works out, you know? Hot take. I'm happy when shit works out. New listeners to the show were like, wow, yeah, Will's really bringing the heat with this fucking podcast idea. Hey, man, I want to shout out you guys real quick. The last episode, I talked about the Portland shows, how I felt a little bit of disconnect from the audience and just wish they had gone a little bit better, but I got some really nice comments, and I want to shout them out real quick. This first comment, I believe it's from a guy named Tristan, just based off the username, and he says, a great show Friday. Truly had a great time, and I know my friends did as well. I think you nailed both the ticket/weather relationship and the region's personality. The material slapped. Not my words. Those are his words. The crowd work is more difficult to land here, especially at a club that doesn't have a strong comedy crowd like Helium, which I talked about that last time. I was like, maybe if I did the shows at Helium, it would have been different. So shout out to that comment. And then also from Gabriella. She says, I was at the Friday show with my fiance and my friend. I'm the 4'11 woman. I remember that. Going to put that clip together soon. We loved your set. We talked about it all weekend. That's awesome, by the way. Not sure why the crowd was so tame. It could also be that it didn't have the kind of crowd a place like Helium gets. So, mystery solved. I think next time I will do Helium for sure. And I wanted to bring up those comments not only because they were really nice, but also because it was very validating to hear that. I think after I put out that episode, I was a little bit worried that I came across, kind of ungrateful and a little snobby, that I was like, oh, why wasn't the crowd better? When that's all a part of stand-up. And so I felt really validated and happy that people reached out and were like, hey, we still had a great time. And here's an idea of maybe why the show wasn't as good. It just felt very validating and cool. So thank you, both of you guys, for commenting that. And yeah, it's like I see these comments and sometimes I need to hear that stuff. So I just want to shout that out, and I really appreciate that. Another real random logistics thing I want to explain that I just got literally like 30 minutes ago. I got this fixed. For shows at the improv clubs, like San Antonio and Dallas are both at an improv, they do these things where it's like they sell the tickets in tables. And maybe you guys have seen that when you've gone to comedy shows. It'll be like you can get a table of 2, table of 4, 6, and 8. And sometimes those are the only options. You can't just buy one ticket. You have to buy at least 2. And I never understood that idea. I was like, no, could we just get the single? Like, how about just get a single seat? Because I love people that go to comedy shows alone. I have many at my shows. I relate to that feeling a lot. Shout out to the lone wolves out there. And I want to give people the option. And so I didn't really know that was an option to have that any different, but I just asked. I was like, hey, can we change that? And sure enough, it's changed. So now if you go to the San Antonio ticket link or the Dallas one, now it's just single seats. You either get a VIP or a GA. I'm stoked about it, and I hope that makes sense to people, because that was something that I really was not into. This whole table idea. The Funny Bone clubs are the same thing. We have to like buy a table. I'm like, how about just one person? What do they want to go? And if anything, I'm like, I could sell less tickets because the one person is like, I can't find a friend to go. I'm too embarrassed to go alone. Even though you shouldn't be, you may be thinking that. So I want to just give the opportunity to everybody to come to the show. So we have that fixed. Again, that doesn't apply to many of you unless you live in those two cities, but going forward, I'm going to make that a thing. I'm stoked. Boy, I keep doing two things right now. I'm sweating more than I thought I was going to be, and I keep picking eggs out of my teeth, and my nose is itchy, and it looks like I'm doing coke. So I'm not doing coke. I've never done coke. I never really come close, but that's what keeps happening, by the way. And I'm also brought one of my favorite shirts back into the rotation, this Saturday shirt. This was like my favorite shirt years ago, and I took it out of the rotation. I get weird with clothes where I'm like, oh, that's me wearing that shirt. Like, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm a different version of myself. When the shirt is so sick, I'm like, why did I put this on? And I'm like, why did I take this out of the rotation? Bring it back, dude. I'm so neurotic. Fuck, man. What are people who are just like, don't give a shit are like? What's that like? To not even care. Dude, I have so many things I'm passionate about. Let's get into it, man. It's because I got things to talk about, okay? For the next 25 minutes. Do you guys like the length, by the way? I like the 30-ish minutes of a pod because we can just throw it on, knock it out real quick, get the updates. An hour's a while, man. I don't want to be here yapping for an hour. If I had a guest, that'd be different, but dude. I'll get 35 minutes. That's enough updates. You got it. So here's what the deal is. So I went to Nashville on Saturday night, and I don't even know how to break this down. I'm going to try to do my best. So at this point in my career, in my life, I'm very grateful to say that financially and creatively, I'm very fulfilled to where I don't have to take every opportunity that is presented to me, right? And in the past, that was very different. I had limited stage time, money was tight, and any type of opportunity came to me, I'm in. Drive to San Diego for $300, I'm in. Fly to who knows where for a college show for not a lot of money, I'm in, right? I took every opportunity. And now I'm so grateful to say that I don't have to do that, which I worked my ass off to get to that point. And that was like that show I did near Boston, that college show in the weird bar setup kind of. That was one where I was like, oh, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to. The show wasn't that fun and the travel was brutal. It's like, I don't need the money that badly, right? Still grateful, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to keep it very real with you guys. Excuse me. And so I was hit up for an opportunity to do this like private gig. And I got hit up for this in like, I want to say January or February, I think. And this guy hit me up and my reps handled, the most of the negotiating, but it was basically like, we're doing like we have this whiskey group. There's like this whiskey group of guys and we do a comedy night every year and we'd love Will to be the headliner. Here's the money. And at that time I was off the road and I was a little worried about money. And I was like, fly to Nashville for one show. Who knows how it's going to be, for about the same rate as I would get for like a college show, which is great money, but it's like, I'm not desperate, right? But at the time, the reason I bring up the timing of it is because there was a time where I wasn't really making any money. So I was like, oh shit, let me take this on. It lined up perfectly where I was off the road for 2 weeks and I basically agreed to it. And it got to the point of when it was starting to come up, I wasn't dreading it, but I was definitely like, oh man, I don't really want to do this. And again, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't really want to fly all the way across the country to do this one thing that could be awful and then fly home. I'm like, I don't need to do this, but I agreed to it already. And also there was a little bit of like fear baked into this because this is not a college. This is not like a corporate show. This is just a guy who reached out about his whiskey group. And it's like, dude, I don't know about you guys, but like I get a little paranoid sometimes. I get a little suspicious of things. And I was a little bit like, bro, what am I walking into? I'm flying across the country for this random thing with a guy I don't know. it's like, we had a contract that was signed and everything, but I was just like, what's this going to be? I was kind of nervous because of the uncertainty. And I've talked about my OCD, and a lot of the OCD and anxiety I have is a lot of just uncertainty. It's not knowing how something's going to go. It's why I wash my hands so much. It's because if I shake your hand, I don't know what's on your hand. It could be poopy, it could be boogers, but now whatever's on your hand is on my hand now. That's why I wash my hands. Because if I wash my hands, there's no boogers on my hands anymore until I pick my own boogers. Then it's all good. And I went over, and I don't think I've talked about this before. My next door neighbor, real ones who know me know him. His name's Ashoka. He's my next door neighbor. We live about this far apart from each other. He's Kramer. That's exactly what it is. We live at the exact same setup as Jerry and Kramer in Seinfeld, right? And he's been one of my best friends since I've lived in LA for years and years. I actually lived with him for a year in a one bedroom when money was tight for both of us. And he's the only person I think I could ever live with. We're very similar. He's almost 50. He's no wife, no kids, and he's perfectly okay with that. And as kind of a lone wolf, despite being in a very beautiful, happy relationship, I also understand where he's coming from. And we've just always hit it off. We have very similar OCD stuff, and he's just been a very great friend for a long time. But the reason I bring him up is because he made me fucking paranoid about this Nashville thing. I told him what it was, and he was like, "What, dude, you're going to Nashville just for some random guys? Do you have a contingency plan?" I'm like, "Contingency plan?" He's like, "Yeah, what if something goes wrong?" He's like, you should FaceTime Kaylee and have her on the stool with you, so in case something weird happens, she could see it and call the police. I'm like, dude, why are you telling me this? I wasn't nervous until now, man. He for real made me paranoid, and I'm fucking so mad at him about that. And so now I'm already even more paranoid about what's going to happen. And again, let me back up. They do a comedy show every year, and I actually knew who the comedian was who did it last year. His name's Rocky Dale Davis. I know who he is. So I'm like, all right, he's a legit comic. If he did this, I'm sure it's going to be fine. But there's still like, fucking hopefully this isn't weird. And they're booking, and this is, again, I'm keeping it very real this episode. They also booked me a hotel, and it's this like, it's called like a tiny hotel. I don't know if you've ever seen these. It was basically like an Airbnb, but it was like this tiny, like modern, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just called a tiny hotel. I want to look up how they describe it, because I don't understand how to describe this unless like other than how they would. Let me see how they would describe it. It's a tiny house hotel, tiny homes, vacation rentals. I'm just loading the website. That's why it's taking me a minute here. If you're watching right now, I mean the website. Come on, guys. I just want to know how to describe it to you guys. It's like a boutique hotel, but it's like small. Dude, I don't know how else to explain it. Look up tiny hotel. I'm really fucking this up. But the reason I bring it up is they booked me that, and it's like now my paranoia is like, dude, there's like a check-in code. So I'm like, they're gonna have the check-in code. So it's like, I don't know this guy. I don't know these people. I'm going to their studio to do a show. And also they may have my check-in information. It's like, I'm sure I'm overly paranoid, but I'm like, I don't fucking know. Who knows, dude? And especially I'm flying across the country. If this was here, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't even think about it. But I'm like putting myself out there, right? So those are all my feelings going into it. And whatever. So those are my feelings. And I had a 7 a.m. flight going out and a 6:45 a.m. flight coming back, which I never do. I never do early flights. You don't need to, unless it's this instance, because I could fly in day of. But the early flights are fucking brutal, dude. It's like waking up at 5 is just inhumane. I don't know how people do it. They wake up and take flights. I took a 6 a.m. flight. I'm like, yeah, dude, it takes me 3 days to recover from a 6 a.m. flight. I'm dreading it a week out. It's awful. And I can't sleep on planes. So once I'm up, I'm up. And I don't really drink coffee because I don't want to have a big sloppy poopy on a plane. Okay? This is the realest episode I've ever done. By the way, when it comes to flying, do you guys put like nice outfits on? People in the airport look stylish. And I am bumming it to the fullest extent. I'm in sweats. I'm in cargo sweats, actually, because your boys will pocket it up. And I'm in a sweatshirt. I'm in a hat. I am fully bum mode. And people are like looking, they got hats on, they got jackets, they got a denim jacket. You're flying with a denim jacket and necklaces and ripped jeans and boots. I'm like, bro, what? Unless you're getting off the plane and going right on stage at a country music festival, how are you dressing like that? Shout out to my brother-in-law. When I stayed with my sister in Minneapolis, we both were going to the airport at the same time. I was going home, he was going to Boston, and he had like an outfit on. He had like cool corduroy pants and white sneakers and a cool sweater. And I'm just like in my sweats and a hoodie with my beanie over my eyes. I'm like, hey, I'm going to the airport too. And he's swanky as fuck. Maybe I should start doing that, man, because you are seen by a ton of people in the airport, right? You want to look cool, but bro, it's comfort. If I'm on a plane for 4 hours and I got a wedgie situation with my cool pants, you can go fuck yourself with that. No way. I will look like a bum and have no wedgie than look like a slick GQ model and my penis and balls are all over the place. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, I'm bummed. So I get to the place. I get to the hotel, and I'll describe the hotel in a second. I dropped my stuff off. I was starving. I went and looked up best Nashville food, because it's like, dude, I'm there. Let me at least take advantage of it, right? And I got a red Jeep, a rental car. Jeeps did not drive very well. Did not like it. I way prefer that fucking Hyundai pickup truck thing. Give me that thing. This Jeep drove not well. I looked up barbecue spots, dude. And I got barbecue. It's called Edley's Barbecue. It was delicious. I got a pulled pork sandwich with extra pickles, and they didn't give me extra pickles, so it was pulled pork sandwich, standard pickles, baked beans, and cornbread. And then I can be asleep before the show. Perfect. I have a question. By the way, it was so good. Fantastic. I crushed it. I don't think I took a breath. I just wheezed my way through a pulled pork sandwich. Jalapeno and cornbread. Explain. Oh, wait. Explain why that's a thing. Cornbread is sweet and buttery. Why are we making it spicy? And this is standard. I know I'm wrong, but I want someone to explain it to me because I don't understand. There's spices in my sweet cake dessert. I don't understand. It doesn't taste bad, but it's confusing to me. And I'm Googling it right now. Cornbread with, dude, I'm typing with one hand. I'm a fucking savant. Jalapenos. Why? I'm just putting Y at the end. Why did jalapeno cornbread originate? Texas. In Texas, Mexican influence has spawned a hearty cornbread made with fresh corn kernels and jalapeno peppers. Dude, right, but like, why? People just, what's the difference? Dude, no, I'm not getting any sort of explanation. They're just saying that here's a bunch of recipes. I don't understand. Explain it to me. In the comments, explain it to me. While you're subscribing, explain it to me. And it was great. I fucking love cornbread, but... So the hotel was awesome. It was really cool. It was, again, I don't know how else to describe it. It's a tiny hotel. It's like this big long hallway with like a couch, and you go up 2 steps and there's a kitchen, and then you go down 2 steps and you're in the bedroom. And it's you feel like tight in there. You almost feel like you're being hugged. It was really great. I thought it was a fantastic hotel, and I was very grateful to be put up there. But I have a gripe. I don't like the open shower idea where there's no door and everything's just open. Aesthetically, it looks really cool. But there's water fucking everywhere. Okay? There needs to be separation between church and state. Between the shower and the toilet. Okay? Because if there's one thing I hate, and hate is a very strong word, I don't use it lightly. I've never been more supportive of using the word hate right now. I hate wet socks. If my socks are wet, I will cancel plans. I don't care what they are. Soggy toes? I will un-RSVP to your wedding. Here's a cake holder from Sur La Table, but my toes are wet. I'm not coming. Okay? So when the shower is open and there's nothing blocking the water, there's water all over the place. And the chances of having wet socks are like 2 to 1. And I'm not even a betting guy. That just sounds like the highest odds. DraftKings promo code wet socks. Not a sponsor, but sponsor me, please. I don't get it. I'm going to save the show for last. One last thing about this is I was, since I was in Nashville, one of the best clubs ever, Zany's Nashville, and I was like, oh, I wonder who's going to be there. Maybe I could go. But the chances of me knowing the headliner is like so slim. Sure enough, it was my buddy, Noel Miller, who I don't know if you know who he is. He does the podcast with Cody Ko, and he was a dude I was friends with very early on in comedy, and then he blew up and became famous, and I didn't see him for like 7 years, and we recently seen each other more, and we've kind of reconnected, and he's the man. He's so funny and such a good dude. Always has been. And he was at Zany's, and I was like, well, shit, man. Maybe I'll go and hit him up and go hang or something. And I just didn't do that because it was just like, I can be so antisocial. It's crazy. I just was like really thinking about it. And he's a nice guy. And I bet he'd be like, yeah, dude, come hang. Because I feel like he wouldn't say no. Because saying no is kind of a shitty thing to say. Like, can we come hang? And I'm like, no, I'm going to do my own thing. It's like, he'd probably say yes. But it would be, this is the conversation. This is how it would go, right? I'd walk into the green room and be like, oh, what up, dude? Yeah, oh, hell yeah. Hey, this is my opener. What's up, man? Nice to meet you. This is my manager. Hey, what's up, dude? Nice to meet you. So, and this is me. How's everything going, man? How's Nashville? Yeah, man, you sold a lot of tickets. That's awesome, man. How, did you guys like do anything today? Oh yeah, I got barbecue too, man. It was great. What's up with the jalapenos, huh? You love the jalapenos. Yeah, no, they're cool. Yeah, they're super cool. Cool. Yeah. So how, so the show should be fun, huh? Oh, me? Yeah, I'm doing a private gig and that I don't think I'll be murdered. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, but it's, we don't, who's to say, yeah, yours is sold out, the whole thing? Yeah, cool, that's cool, yeah, no, yeah, no. Are my socks wet? A little bit, yeah, they're a little bit wet. How, can you tell? It was just not, I was like, I knew that's how it was going to go, and I was like, I don't want to make him feel awkward before his shows. So I didn't hit him up. But you should go see him live. He's very funny and a very nice guy. So I didn't do anything after the show. Big plans. Didn't do shit. Let's talk about the show, dude. Overall, couldn't have gone better. All my worrying was for nothing. These guys were so cool and so stoked. The show was fun. And I feel like a stupid, big, dumb idiot. Shout out these guys, man. Their club is called the Soggy Bourbon Boys, which I had fun with that. And the guy, his name's Michael, shout out. He made it all happen, and he was the coolest, most chill, made everything easy for me, was helpful, proactive. It was like, I felt bad for even considering it. Something was weird. I mean, there was like 30 guys there. It was just me doing a show for like 30 guys who all looked the same. Who were all like 35. I took a picture of it. I'll put the picture up here of what the show was. Dude, they had the openers. They had 3 guys in the group do sets. Do like 10 to 15 minute sets. And they all were like kind of funny. And then brought me up. And I did a 45-minute set. And it was like a blast. I did some of the hits from the hour. I tried some new stuff. I did some crowd work, which they loved. Obviously, because I'm just making fun of. They all know each other, so when you make fun of them, people love it, right? And they all were stoked. I brought tour posters just for the hell of it. They bought a bunch of them. Couldn't have gone better. I mean, I really feel like an idiot for being so paranoid about it. And if any of them are listening to this, I apologize for thinking something weird was going to happen, but I just don't know, man. I'm an anxious dude, and I'm keeping it real. But I had so much fun. Every single dude was cool. Everyone was nice. What a fun experience. I don't know if I would do these types of things again. It would have to be much closer. So if you have an opportunities like this, you always feel free to hit me up. But if we're going past like Texas, I'm probably not going to do it. Unless you're bagging me out. Okay? Shout out to them. It was just a great time. I just had such a fun time. And then I went home, didn't go to Zany's, and I ordered sushi, and I ordered a yummy like crab salmon roll, and I wanted to get eel, unagi, which I love eel, and they gave me eggplant on top of rice instead of eel. And I almost booked a red eye to leave that night because I was so upset that I got eggplant instead of eel, because eggplant is gross. Okay? I will eat anything. I will try anything. Eggplant is gross. And I'm sorry. I picture someone right now loving jalapeno and cornbread and loving eggplant, and they're like, I'm out. Sayonara. And then, dude, I had a 6:45 a.m. flight the next day. So I woke up at, 2 a.m. Dude, I had to return a rental car. It was like brutal. Back-to-back 6 a.m. flights are I felt like I was in the military. It was brutal. Brutal. But I somehow slept on the flight. Oh, and dude, it wasn't even nonstop. I had to go to Nashville to Phoenix, Phoenix to Burbank. I somehow slept on the Nashville to Phoenix flight, which was 3 hours. And I actually slept. I was slept to the point of not only ugly sleeping. I couldn't have looked uglier sleeping. I was mouth open, head up, like pure ugly, right? But I found like a divot in the window seat. You ever find that window seat where sometimes you just have the window, so you're like, I can't get a spot, but I found this perfect little divot that I leaned my head against and just slept like that. Dude, I was so asleep that I was dreaming. I can't remember the last time I dreamt on a plane. I was dreaming about plane stuff. I was dreaming like we were on the flight and we had to land early because of turbulence or something, and then we left again, and dude, I was having dreams. Missing all the beverage services. Nothing. Your boy's parched because of all the mouth breathing. But hey, I made it through, man. I made it through. I was so happy when I was home, dude. Oh my God. I was so happy when the show was over because it was like not weird and it was really fun. And then when I was home, I was like, it's over, dude. I did it. Oh, such a good feeling. Kaylee picked me up. We had a beautiful day. We just sat around all day and watched, and she and I watched both playoff games, which were the Knicks Pacers and the Nuggets and Timberwolves, both game 7s, and she just sat around with me all day and watched them. God damn, do I love this girl. Couldn't have bigger shout out to Kaylee, man. She is just the love of my life and just the sweetest fucking person ever. Dude, she did I do that thing Prize Picks, where it's like you bet on like player stats. It's like the only legal sports betting in California, and I want them to sponsor me, but I loved it. It's so much fun. And dude, she fucking placed bets with me. She had her own bets that she made, and we both bet on the game and watched it together. Bro, I may as well be Googling wedding rings. That is the sexiest shit ever. And dudes who are listening know what I'm talking about, bro. You know how hard that is to find? Not only is the girl letting you watch 2 game 7s in a day, but betting on it with you and checking the scorecard more than you are? Come on, bro. I couldn't be happier to be with her in this relationship. It's so awesome. Also, got to give a quick Oso update. Our sweet boy, if you're new to the show, we adopted a shelter dog 3 weeks ago, and he's been great, man. The updates are, he's waking up early. I'm just a guy who wakes up early now. I was up at 7:50 this morning, and if anyone knows me personally, that's crazy. Your boy's been like a 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. type of bitch for a while, and now I'm up at, when normal people get up. I keep being like, oh, it's so early, and Kaylee's like, no, this is when people wake up, William. And I was like, don't call me William. You get me turned on. And so he's waking up early, which is fine, dude. That's also just having a dog, and it's not something I've never like owned a dog myself. You know, when we had Snail, it was very much she was more responsible for Snail because that was like her baby, you know, and she was mine too, but it was just, you understand what I'm trying to say. So I've never been, you know, responsible for a dog before, and now I'm up early, dude. I'm with the birds, man. Me and the birds are chirping. I'm catching the newspaper. Just kidding, man. Where did that go, huh? Throwing newspapers on the front of the fucking doorway? Like Tony Soprano going out in his bathrobe getting the paper? I want to do that. I'm bringing newspapers back. The coolest update, though, is that we always kept him away from other dogs because we weren't really sure how he's going to be with them. And on his report card, they were like, he's good with other dogs unless they're very aggressive. And I'm like, yeah, I'll bet. Me too. I feel the same way about dogs. And I've had 2 instances with him where a dog has kind of run up to him and he's gone, rah, 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 like snaps, right? And we're like, oh, fuck. And sure enough, when I was gone, Kaylee like had a few interactions with dogs, and he was a total sweetheart. He was sniffing them. He was licking them. He's being a little flirty. He's licking them and kind of backing away. Your boy's flirty. And dude, he even interacted with a puppy, and he was really cute with the puppy. Dude, and then today when I was with him, he interacted with 3 different dogs and was a sweetheart with all of them. So, I mean, it's amazing how well this whole thing's going with Oso. I mean, it's just has been so nice, and he's such a sweet boy. He's kind of a dumbass, but he's also very smart in where he knows the routine. He knows where to go outside. He knows what's up. Any misbehaving shit that he does is just classic dog stuff, you know? He knocks the trash over sometimes. He pees. He's only peed twice in 3 weeks in the house. He barks a little bit. It's like, dude, he's just being a dog, you know? No dog's perfect. But it's been really nice, man. That's the podcast. Please subscribe. Please come see me on tour. Such great shows coming up. Seattle, Brea, San Antonio, Austin. Come by yourself. You don't have to bring 8 friends anymore. Really excited to see you guys out there, man. Please comment and like the pod, subscribe, and again, if you're ever at shows, please tell me if you're a podcast listener, because I feel like we're in this tight-knit group, and I just really appreciate you guys a lot. Have a good rest of the week, and I will check in with you guys next week.